At some predetermined point, it will allow her to take the con, for experience and with the AI metaphorically watching over her shoulder. She turns to her own building and leaves the courtyard. She feels no eyes on her but knows there must be people at the windows. The quarantine house is comfortable, not opulent like that of most of the passengers. The Ragtime is already parked in orbit according to the artificial, who showed Shell to her quarters. Inaccurate. It was built in orbit, so not really parked. It's in the dry dock. Shell spends her quarantine reading and lifting, not her usual keep fit choice, but space demineralizes bone and lifting helps. She usually prefers running and swimming. The reading material is uninspiring, half of it being specs for the Ragtime. It's boring because she won't need to know any of it. The AI flies the ship and nothing ever goes wrong because AIs have never failed in flight. Once a simulated launch failed, but that was a software glitch. Current AI is hard-coded in the ship's pentagrams. Max Galactics makes the pentagrams, and they don't make mistakes. If she's lucky, it'll be 2 weeks of quarantine, frenetic activity, then 10 years of sleep. Shell works her worry beads. She has been in space, orbited, spent 3 months on a space station, spent countless simulation hours in a pod in Alaska, trained for interstellar, overtrained. It's a legal requirement, her boss had said. The private company had snatched her right out from under NASA's nose 6 months to the end of her training. Shell still feels bad about it. She misses a lot of good people. A spaceflight-rated human has to go with every trip, but you won't have to do anything, Michelle. We cover 2 bases, the legal, and you clocking space years. After this, you can pretty much write your own career ticket. If that's so, said Shell, why isn't anyone else sitting where I'm sitting? Someone with seniority? Seniority? Her boss had nodded. Listen, Michelle, you have to get out of that NASA mindset. We don't use seniority or any of those outdated concepts. Shell raised an eyebrow. All right, your father has a little to do with it. Of course he did. Tade Campion, legendary astronaut, immortal because instead of dying like all the other old-timers, he went missing. Legally declared dead, but everybody knows that's just paperwork. A shadow Shell can never get away from, although she's not sure she wants to. A part of her feels he is still alive somewhere in an eddy of an Einstein-Rosen bridge. She once read that dying in a black hole would leave all of someone's information intact and trapped. Theoretically, if the information could escape the black hole, the person could be reconstructed. Shell often wondered, what if the person were still alive in some undefinable way? Would they be in pain and self-aware for eternity? Would they miss their loved ones? The TV feed plays The Murders in the Rue Morgue with George C. Scott streamed to her IFC. The film is dated and not very good, but it keeps Shell's mind engaged for a while. Next is some demon possession B-movie, a cheap Exorcist knockoff that Shell can't stand. Each day, lab techs come in for more blood and a saliva swab. It isn't onerous, a spit and a pinprick. On day 10, the Ragtime calls her. Hello? Mission Specialist Michelle Campion? Yes? Hi, it's the Ragtime calling. I'm going to be a pilot and the ship controller. I wanted to have at least one conversation before you boarded. Oh, thank you. Most people call me Shell. I know. I didn't want to be presumptuous. It's not presumptuous, Captain. I prefer Ragtime, especially if I'm to call you Shell. Okay, Ragtime. May I ask what gender you're presenting?